All right, it's another beautiful day here at the off-grid property. It's about 73 degrees. It's supposed to be a high of 80 today. Not a cloud in the sky. So unfortunately, I'm using my cell phone right now because apparently one of my mic batteries was dead, which sucks, but it is what it is. So the video is going to be a little shaky the first part here until I get that battery charged, and I'll switch over to my better camera. Well, as you can see, I'm in short sleeve shirt today, which can mean only one thing up here in this high altitude sun where I typically wear long sleeve shirts. It's laundry day. I'm out of long sleeve shirts. So I got to get my laundry system going. Got to get my laundry going over here. Get it all hooked up. And before I can run it, I got to change out the water pump, which I have a new one I just brought up. So we'll get that done. Before we get to that though, I want to show you what I've done on the road the last day or so. And then on a side note, if you ever wonder what happens if you leave your cell phone in the sun, that's what happens. Luckily, this is a very old spare phone that I have. I don't use it for cell phone. I usually just use it to play music. And this battery went caca years ago. And I actually set this here on purpose because yesterday when I went to charge it, it did this. If I stick it in the shade, let it cool off, it'll come back down. But that yellowish, silverish, yellow looking thing inside there behind the screen is the battery, and it is expanding and swelling, and that's no good. So when I charge it, it does this, or when you leave it sit in the sun, it'll absolutely do this. So don't ever leave your cell phone sitting out in the sun for too long because it'll destroy your phone. And those batteries could potentially catch on fire, so I'm going to remove it from the sun here in a second and stick it in the shade. But just wanted to show you that real quick. That is what happens to your phone when you leave it out in the sun. So be careful. Now let's go put this in the shade before it explodes and catches fire. I'm going to take you out real quick on the road, show you what I've done and what I'm going to do. Change my plan a little bit. Okay, so this is where I started doing work. The first time I used the tractor, the backhoe, was right here. Decided to widen the road a little bit right here, dug a little ditch over there. Dumped some material on the road, smooth it out because there were some gnarly little rocks right here. However, right here, the road curves, it goes over to my camp. And you can see here a rock. And I had another one similar to that, but a little more pokey outy in the roadie right here. So I thought I should have recorded this, but the other night it was almost dark and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get that stupid rock out of there. So I stopped rubbing it with my tire. It didn't look very big. It looked just like that little rock over there. I started poking around with the backhoe, and this is what I ended up with. This huge rock. This huge rock right here. I don't know how well you can see that. It's big. And right next to it, this other one. Another huge rock. Just massive. That came out of that hole. My tire would hit it from time to time, and it's been bugging me for the last couple of years. But yeah, that's what came out of the ground. And to give you an idea how big this rock is, I don't know if I could do this. I'm gonna try. Ugh. How am I gonna do this? I gotta set my phone up here somehow with a rock. I'm 6 foot tall. I am 6 feet tall, and whoops. That's how big this rock is. Up to my shoulder, and as long as my legs. It's ridiculous. It's a big rock. Ugh. It's unbelievable what that little backhoe can do. I was very skeptical when I bought it, and the price tag on that backhoe alone, that attachment, was, they're not cheap, guys. They're pretty damn expensive, but it's unbelievable what you could do with that little backhoe. To pull those rocks out of the ground, I could have never gotten those out of the ground by myself, by hand, with breaker bars and picks, shovels and leverage. I couldn't have done it, but that backhoe pulled those out of the ground in like 3 minutes. It took me 3 minutes to pull those out. So, pretty insane. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so this section of my road, which is, it's not very long, but it is by far the worst section of my road. And I started filling this in right here. This was washed out completely on this side. I don't know, 1.5 feet deeper on this side than it was this side. So I started just scraping up some material here, dumping it here, filling it in. And then this section of road, which is a hill, goes up to the edge of my property. Started digging a ditch over here, which is where the water has been running anyways. I'm just going to channel it a little better. Pull that material up, dump it in the road here, try to level it off, cover up these big huge rocks. But I came to a realization that although initially I thought I was just going to start digging ditches all the way down my road and dumping the material in the road and knocking it down, which I am going to do, but I don't have the time to do it all right now. So I've decided to just pause the ditch digging along my entire road, which is over 1/4 mile long. So I was going to do a ditch. I am going to do a ditch on both sides of the road. It's over 1/2 mile of ditches. And it is nice with the backhoe, but it will take quite some time. And I'm only up here for a limited number of days. So what I'm doing now is just band-aiding, putting a band-aid on all this. Just pulling some material where there will be a ditch. And just fixing the really nasties in my road. I'm still going to do this section right here. I don't know if you can see it. It's pretty bad. High side here, low side here. Nasty rocks that are going to destroy my tires. All the way up this hill. There's a good one right there. And all these ones on the side that are going to be rubbing on with my tires. Sorry for the stuffy nose, guys. It's that time of year. And it's something I just have to deal with. But right here at the entrance to my property was really bad. I just started pulling material from this area right here, dumping it here, and I just knocked it down with the tractor. I'm going to continue this kind of thing all the way down. All right, that's it for the road update. Let's get back to camp. All right, guys, we got the water pump switched out on my off-grid laundry over here, and I currently have a load going right now. So if you're not familiar with my past videos on this, basically I have an old washer from home and an old dryer that I picked up at a used appliance shop, a gas dryer. And I literally have the water coming from this 12-volt water pump, which comes out of this filter, which comes out of this rainwater tank that is caught off of this little bitty roof right here. And that tank is full. So all of my laundry is done from rainwater. It's filtered through a basic filter and then does my laundry. The dryer I converted to propane. So there's a little, what is it called? I forget what it's called. A jet, basically, that you could swap out, that you take out, and you purchase the one for propane. If yours already has the one for natural gas, you just switch it out to the propane one, and then you buy a hose like this that screws into the back of your dryer, and this screws in to your little propane tank. And you get There's tons of loads of laundry of drying off of one little tank. One of these little tanks right here. So that's how my laundry works, and it's all powered off of my solar. I try to do it sometime afternoon when I have really good sun, because the washer doesn't use too much electricity, believe it or not, but the dryer, even though it's a gas dryer, just the turning of the drum requires a bit of juice on startup. And I don't like to really zap my batteries doing laundry later in the day or early in the morning. So this is a perfect time between 12 and 2 p.m. do laundry. Also, so I've had this set up like this, I don't know, you'd have to go back to my videos, but probably 3 years, 3 or 4 years. I can't remember now, but it's just a simple, I got plastic pallets and I just built a frame around it, screwed right into the plastic pallets. It's just a simple 2x4 roof. This is pretty sturdy, believe it or not. Very little support, but it holds several feet of snow in the winter. These have sat out just like this for the most part. I used to cover that, but I don't anymore. I just leave it like that. I've had no issues with this at all. The only casualty, of course, was the water pump. I left it there, and there's water that gets down in here in the body of the pump. And if you leave it there over the winter, it freezes, destroys the pump. So I won't be leaving that pump there anymore when I leave here. Okay, so I was going to go ahead and grease the tractor, but my neighbors just showed up, and they're helping another neighbor pull some wire. So I think I'm going to go over there and say hello. All right, so it's the next day. I ended up with a pretty gnarly migraine yesterday afternoon and evening. Due to some sinus pressure that I just can't seem to kick. So I did not come out here and grease the tractor, but I'm doing it today. So I already greased the loader on this side. Pretty simple. You just got a couple of points here, 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 and here. That's it for this loader arm. I'm going to end up doing the same thing on the other side. And then the backhoe's got quite a few more, and some of them are kind of hard to get to or hidden. Up in here and down inside there. Those are the hard to get to grease zerks. I almost skipped right over them when I was looking this thing over. And then a couple of these, they're underneath. But the loader and the backhoe get greased every 10 hours, or as you think they need to be greased. If they sound like they need grease and it's before the next 10 hours, you give them a couple squirts of grease. So all I'm doing is I'm just squeezing it until a little bit comes out right inside there. That's it. So it's usually about 2 or 3 pumps on my my grease gun here. So that's what I'm doing. And then I think after that, this rock has been bugging me for years. My son and I dug this up out of the ground somewhere over here. It was poking up about, I don't know, 6 or 8 inches, kind of like this rock here. And that one over there ended up being a lot bigger than we thought, but we dug it out and it's just been sitting here. It's too heavy to really move. And I don't know if you could, sorry for the angle, but there's crystals embedded in it right here. But I'm gonna get that stupid rock out of here. I'm probably gonna pull this one out, that one over there, and probably just, I don't know. We'll see if I take those out. But get all those out of here now that I have the ability to do it easily with the tractor. And then just kind of smooth this out a little bit with the front end loader. I did go ahead and finish my laundry yesterday. Everything worked just fine. No issues with it at all. Also, if you've been watching my videos for several years now, you'll know that I've had these two trees that just never seem to want to die. Got flowers on the peach tree here, and the apple's still going. But the cows will come through here and they'll nip on these and keep trimming them down, but they don't ever seem to die. This one has a new stalk coming out the root system here, which is probably not ideal, but now that I have a backhoe, I can go dig a big old hole and stick them in the ground real easily. Make life around here a whole lot easier. If you think about, if you follow my channel for all these years, you'll know all the different holes that I've had to dig around here trying to plant trees and whatnot. And it's just a lot of work out here in this clay with all these rocks, with a shovel and a pick and a breaker bar. I don't have to do that anymore. It's great when you think about all the things you can do now that you've got a piece of equipment like that. It's going to make things a whole lot easier around here. But yeah, let me finish greasing the tractor, and then we'll get some of that stuff out of the way over there, those rocks. I don't know, guys. I think I'm starting to get pretty good at this. Those rocks have been a pain in my ass for years. If you notice, those little rocks, those rocks over there were nothing on the surface. They're like an iceberg, right? Just an annoyance. You start digging down, they turn into a big, huge rock. But that coyote took care of it like it was nothing. I'd love to say that it was skill, but I just don't have any yet, so it's all tractor. That thing is awesome.